Live at 5 starts now.
Well, tonight, dramatic video showing the moments officers rescue a 12-year-old girl from a sinking car in a reservoir in Tooele.
Yeah, that video just released this afternoon, giving us a look at what that rescue was like. News specialist Lauren Steinbrecher live at Settlement Canyon Reservoir, and she walks us through this dash cam and the body cam video. Lauren?
Yeah, Mike and Ashley, I mean, you can really hear just how chaotic those moments were. A mother screaming for her daughter who is trapped in a car that is underneath the water. In fact, officers can't even see where the car is when they arrive on scene, but they make that split-second decision to jump in. Now, the body camera footage from one of two officers shows him running down toward the reservoir with people all around. They're yelling. The officers end up stripping down from their gear. Body camera goes in the grass, but from there, the dash camera shows them diving into the water. And over the next 5 minutes, officers dive down to find that car, trying several different ways to get the windows broken out to rescue that girl who was unconscious. Well, an officer ends up shooting out the window, and you can hear and see the community effort it became to get that girl back to the shore. Now, the dash cam video cuts right after that, but the girl is unconscious. Officers are giving her CPR. They did get her breathing again. And in talking to Tooele police tonight, they say the last update they got is that girl is doing well. And as far as how that car ended up in the reservoir, they said that at this time they've determined that it was an accident, but lucky that she's alive. Lauren Steinbrecher, KSL 5 News.
Yeah, pretty dramatic, Lauren. Thank you. A judge today denied religious tax.
For the first time, we're hearing and seeing police rescue a 12-year-old girl from a reservoir near Tooele.
This is intense. News specialist Lauren Steinbrecher live at Settlement Canyon Reservoir. And Lauren, I know you got the video this afternoon. What an effort to save that girl.
Yeah, Mike and Deanie, I mean, we've heard about this. We were even out here the day that it happened, but now we are seeing what those moments are like when the officers responded here, ran down the banks, and jumped into the water. As officers respond, bystanders waving them down the road. It's clear the situation is urgent. As they get out and run down the banks, the mother is screaming.
Is it underwater?
Officers immediately radio for more help.
We got one in the vehicle underwater. Where's it at?
Knowing every second is counting to rescue the 12-year-old girl trapped in a sinking car. Officers strip down of all their gear.
Hey, take your boots off. We're doing this.
The body camera falls in the grass, but dash cam shows them jumping in. Over the next 5 minutes, they find the car and attempt to break the windows to get in.
Hurry up! Go, go, go! Give me a pry bar. Give me something to open the door. Let's get the back window. Right here.
An officer shoots out the window to get to the girl, who is by now unconscious. They pull her out as everyone pulls in to get her to shore. The dash cam cuts after that as officers work to revive her.
We got her out of the car. We're starting CPR.
The girl starts breathing. A mother relieved her daughter is alive. Yeah, alive. And tonight we're hearing from Tooele PD that that girl is doing well. Now, as far as how that car ended up rolling down the bank and into the water, Tooele PD says they determined that it was simply an accident. Mike and Deanie.
Yeah, incredible. A few heroes out there today. Lauren, thank you.
We have a live look from atop of the KSL.
KSL News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. Dramatic body camera footage shows officers scramble to pull a 12-year-old girl from a car submerged in the waters of Settlement Canyon Reservoir.
New tonight, Andrew Adams spoke with a witness who was there that day, sharing his account along with the video. Andrew?
Yeah, he described a chaotic scene, a family screaming for help, which led him to get into the water. He says he tried to get a door open, couldn't, and it was ultimately officers who saved the day, as you're about to see and hear in this video.
As police pull up, it's obvious there's a problem. And several people were already down by the water, trying to help.
I didn't expect ever falling into this situation.
Brian Parker was one of those people.
Her daughter was in the car.
He says that car had been sinking.
Is it underwater?
Body camera video shows officers scrambling.
Your fire runner up, please. We got one in the vehicle underwater. Where's it at?
And they wasted little time with the girl trapped inside.
Hey, take your boots off. We're doing this.
The body camera falls to the ground, but dash camera shows police racing into the water.
Hurry up! Go, go, go! Give me a pry bar. Give me something to open the door.
One officer ultimately had to resort to desperate measures.
The gun! Give me the gun!
He chambered around and went down. He yelled out, "I got her, I got her."
Shooting out the window worked, but the girl was unconscious.
Bring her to me here! My wife! We got her out of the car. We're starting CPR.
That officer, he wasn't about to give up.
But the girl revived and now recovering.
Someone needed help, and you helped.
Parker says officers made all the difference that day.
They just went above and beyond.
Well, Tooele police say last update, the girl was doing well, and they determined what happened was an accident. Deanie?
That's a relief, but you can hear just the trauma in that mother. You assume it's the mother screaming for help. Andrew, thank you.
Another day of afternoon.
All right, Kristen, thanks. A guilty plea for 3 murders 17 years later. That's what happened today in a Salt Lake courtroom.
News specialist Debbie Worthen covering this story for us tonight. And Debbie, this is a long time coming.
Yeah, it sure is. Today, Juan Antonio Arreola Murillo pleaded guilty to murdering Sonia Mejio and her unborn child back in 2006 and Damiana Castillo on the exact same day 2 years later. This is a case that has spanned 17 years and 2 countries. 29-year-old Sonia Mejia, 6 months pregnant, February 9th in 2006, when Juan Antonio Arreola Murillo now says he murdered her. In a plea agreement, Murillo says he entered her Taylorsville home and intentionally strangled her. 2 years to the day later, Murillo now admits to doing the same thing to 57-year-old Damiana Castillo, who lived near the first victim. Investigators didn't know the deaths were linked until later in 2008, and by that point, officials had deported Murillo to Mexico. 1 year later, Taylorsville and West Valley City formed an 8-member full-time task force to find the killer. It took 9 years for investigators to crack the case and another 4 to get Murillo back to Utah. That was January of 2022.
We knew that they were connected at that time, and subsequently the good work from law enforcement and our prosecutors, they were able to identify this individual.
Now, after the guilty pleas, Salt Lake County Attorney Sim Gill released this statement. Our office mourns the losses of Damiana Castillo, Sonia Mejio, and her unborn child. While perfect justice would mean that these 3 individuals would still be with us today, we hope that these guilty pleas can bring a semblance of justice and closure for these families. Well, Murillo will stay in the Salt Lake County Jail until he is sentenced. That happens on August 10th, and he faces 25 years to life in prison on each of those 3 counts. Mike.
All right, Debbie Worthen live for us this evening in Salt Lake. Debbie, thank you. Right now, the author accused of poisoning her husband with